Once I really got into Artoria's plugin, specifically the V Collection plugin, I stopped using all my other plugins. I used to have like 3 or 4 other go-tos, and I have not used those 3 to 4 go-tos since I've been in the V Collection, which is interesting because I always like to choose the best of the best, but everything is kind of right there. So it's like, if we're going, what's the best piano? I feel like I have it in Artoria. What's the best Rhodes, things that I know I use a lot, I feel like I have it there. So I kind of just go, boom, as soon as I go on, it's right there for me. I'm Rodney Darkchild Jerkins, multiple Grammy Award winner. I worked with everyone from Beyoncé to Michael Jackson, Whitney Houston, Destiny's Child. The list just goes on and on and on and on. Believe it or not, I started when I was probably 10 years old. My brother is 7 years older than me, and he was producing things locally. We're from a small town in South New Jersey, like 15 minutes outside of Atlantic City. And I would just hear the things that he was making in the house, and I would just like want to do the same thing. So I started my production journey. I heard a song one time on the radio. I was in Toledo, Ohio on a vacation, and I heard Human Nature come on the radio, and I was just like listening to all the instrumentation and was like, that's what I want to do someday. I want to do that. And I remember looking at credits and, looking at all the credits of who played the bass synth and who played this and who mixed and who mastered, and learning what those terms, that terminology meant. And I was like, that's what I want to do. I want to be the guy that produces it. When I was about 14 years old, I had a chance to go to Virginia Beach and meet Teddy. And from the first time being around him and seeing him work, it just inspired me. He told me that he would one day introduce me to Michael Jackson, and he kept his word. Next thing you know, the 14-year-old that met Teddy Riley is now meeting Michael Jackson by the time I'm 17. And then 4 years later, 21, I'm working with Michael. So, it's just, I just had my mind set on one thing, and that was to be a producer, and not just a producer, but to be one of the best. Beautiful. So I think the biggest difference in today versus yesteryear was back in the day, everything was analog. When I started, we were on big tape machines. Pro Tools wasn't born yet. We were, tracking one sound at a time. It took, all day just to track the instruments, or just the drums and just the keyboard sounds. It was a long process to get it done. But I think now, looking 25 years later, now we got plugins, we got Pro Tools, we got Logic, we got, it's just so much. Technology has made the game so much faster for us and so much accessible for other young people and older people to learn what we do at a high level. So I don't think there's like even playing field for pro and beginners, right? I'm a pro and I can use Logic and I can use all of these plugins by Artoria, but also my son, who's 15 years old, who's a beginner, he has Logic and he has Artoria and all the plugins as well. So what's the difference? The difference is what I do with it and what he does with it. A big airy pluck. Cool. So this is without the synth. Synth into the organic world or a little bit more, and then go all the way over to just that. So it allows you to take one sound and shape it into multiple sounds. And I think that's what makes it really special. You have the advanced button right here. And then you can go to, up here you go to the arpeggiator. Definitely a Darkchild cheat code right there. Anybody listen to the Full Moon album by Brandy, I use arpeggiators a lot on a lot of my chords. I break it up. Sometimes I play them myself, but sometimes you got cool things like this, which allows it to break it up for you. And I think that's what makes it really special. I'm loving the whirly. I'm loving the CP70's dope. I found a sound in there that I love, the lo-fi piano. So warm. Yeah, I think it's really dope. And even the Mini V, just the bass. I mean, as soon as you know when something's good is when you first turn it on and the first sound gets you, right? And there's a bass, as soon as you turn it on, it just sounds like it sounds like the Off the Wall album. That's what it feels like. I'm about to play Don't Stop Till You Get Enough as soon as I hear it. What I love about the Mini V sounds is that it really feels like I actually have the board in front of me, right? A lot of people don't understand, like when you're dealing with plugins, software versus hardware, it's like, can it give you the presence of the hardware? Can it give you the warmth of the hardware? And just so warm and fat. Whoa, this thing sounds just like what I have. And I think that's what makes it so good, is that the team over Turd, who's doing the sampling, who's doing everything to make it come to life, to make real sounds become synth sounds and creating that combination. That's what impresses me the most, is that I feel like I'm getting the best of both worlds. I definitely think if you're a beginner or if you're a pro, wherever you are, as a producer, as a beat maker, as an artist, as an up-and-coming songwriter, and just trying to find sounds that inspire you, I would highly suggest this V Collection 10. I think, bar none, it'll get you going, it'll get your juices flowing, your creative juices flowing, and we'll be sitting side by side at the Grammys.